How's it going, Tatus?
What up?
How you been, man?
McGellin?
Yep.
From that movie, right? Wasn't there like a McGellin guy?
There was something, McLovin.
McLovin, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, how you doing? We haven't actually met, have we?
We have met very briefly, but yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
Wait, when did we meet?
You were RA of the class I was in with Hirakawa.
Oh.
Yes.
God, I was like a TA, right? I was so shitty, man. Like, she got so pissed at me.
Oh, really? Like, she got mad at a lot of people. So, yeah, it's cool, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, you got that Asian fury right there.
It was anger. It was definitely some good anger.
There was a lot of anger.
So I'm really happy you wanted to be on the show.
Well, thanks.
So thanks for taking out the time to do this. So this is going to be episode 10 of Two Dimensional Champions, and so usually the format we usually go on is I start recording as soon as we.
We use the term format really loosely.
There's not an incredible.
Honestly, I have no idea what we're doing.
So I just start recording, or I'm actually not good at keeping this up. This is actually what I was just getting
shit for.
Getting shit for
because we had a bunch of excellent quips earlier, and I was like, "Oh shit, you're recording?" He's like, "No." Meanwhile, it's like I'm complaining, whereas he like does all the recording and all the uploading and stuff like that. All I do is talk shit. But, works for me.
Yeah.
So basically I'll go back later and edit it. And, so if there's anything from the previous 2 minutes and 56 seconds you don't want to, just let me know. Because otherwise I'll just kind of, if it's not funny or not relevant, I'll cut it. But otherwise I just record in case I do something stupid or something like that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
But otherwise, it's pretty much you watch the show, so really you're good. That's the main part.
You watch the show. That's more than what we've done. It's like, I do my voice, I'm like, nope, none of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the show. Wait, have you not watched it yet?
Me? I listened to like someone have an episode, and then
what? You didn't actually watch it?
You have? I'm subscribed on iTunes, though. I did that. There's that time.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I'm subscribed on iTunes, and I was like, fuck. So then I quickly subscribed on iTunes.
Yeah, I subscribed. Wait a second. So wait, are we talking about the podcast, or are we talking about Dragon Ball?
We're talking about the podcast.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, no, I haven't listened to any of the podcasts. What's he talking?
I was like, you have? No, yeah, I watched Dragon Ball. They're great.
Yeah, I haven't. I think I've listened to a couple just for editing briefly, but I can't stand the sound of my own voice, so
same.
Flip through it pretty quick because I'm just like, I hear it and it's just really bad. So, okay, but you have watched Dragon Ball though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
to view those 3 episodes earlier today, so it's fresh in my mind.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that was fun.
And all of their glory.
Listen to the podcast. No.
No, bro. No. Ben, have you listened to the podcast?
Oh, yes. I did listen to a couple of episodes, so...
Was it BBB or either of the Knights of Sidonia? Because those are the most popular. Right?
Yeah, that's why I was looking at the most popular ones. So I did the Knights of Sidonia ones, so yeah, those are...
Oh, cool.
Well, after this, I want to quiz you and see what your thoughts are. Or
we also totally ruined that show for you too.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right. I have to. Sometimes I can get into big shows, and sometimes I can't. And Dragon Ball I can fit in because it's small episodes. I don't know if I have a whole season in me yet of a show. So. Yeah,
Sidonia actually has a lot of episodes at this point.
You know, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm just going to say. I'm just going to lay that out there. And
it's like I'm 300% more productive now that I'm addicted to an illegal substance.
Right. It's like, everyone, watch it on Netflix and do cocaine. Like, don't pirate it, but do cocaine.
Yeah, well, we had actually, that was funny with the last episode because we were talking about where we were watching everything. And for Dragon Ball, you were like, so where did we watch this? I was like, well... We allegedly watched it on the internet. We'd watched the original Japanese broadcast if anybody asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we caught that. And we also.
And I know you because you took Japanese class, and I was like,
yeah.
Must know what I was talking about then.
Absolutely. Self-translated, all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, so there we go. We just that was,
for some reason we can't pronounce any of the Japanese names right. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. So that's where we watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we'll get started. So this is again episode 10 of Two Dimensional Champions, and we're watching Dragon Ball Super.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Which is the first new Dragon Ball show in 18 years, I think it is. Not counting...
Including or not including GT?
Including GT, I think. Well...
Because Super didn't include GT. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been 18 years even since GT, but GT just kind of suck. Yeah, GT's...
Yeah, because GT started in 97. I think it ended in 98? I can't do math, so I'm going to have to rely
Never do math on stream. Or recording or whatever. But, so, yes, I am Thaddeus and or Thadnator.
I'm Julian.
And I'm Ben.
Dun dun dun.
Yay. So we're all here. Special guest for today's episode.
Yes.
So I have a question. Just to bring it into... So what are your memories of Dragon Ball Z and, like, why is it... Because this is sort of like... the anime for nostalgia or whatever. Like, so I'm wondering when you first remember, I'm assuming Dragon Ball Z, or getting into this story.
Yeah. Well, for me, the first one, the first actually anime I ever watched was the original Dragon Ball. And for some reason, it was like some local channel had it on at like 7 a.m. when I was a kid. So you'd get up like on Saturday morning, and the first show on was the original Dragon Ball with little Goku, and so that was awesome. I mean, that's what I watched forever before they even came out with. Before I even watched the big movies like Akira and all the normal ones. Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball was by far the first one I ever watched, and so I've always had a fondness for that.
It was like at Insanity early in the morning, right? I don't even know. Like, I have a similar story. Like, I started watching Dragon Ball Z, and I want to say it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. Why I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the freaking morning, I have no idea. But I just remember being like, I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to see, Goku versus Vegeta or whatever. Like, that was like the arc that I remember. And like recording it on VHS and shit. Like,
wasn't it always the Saiyan saga at 5 o'clock in the morning? That was it. It was just.
I have no idea.
It was just because that's kind of what I remember is that I forget where it looped because I know it looped during the Ginyu fight, because for a long time they only, I think Funimation or whatever, I forget who originally had the license for the show in the mid-90s, but for a while they only had a license for the first 52 episodes, and I think it looped right after the Ginyu.
Oh, really?
Captain Ginyu. Yeah. And so I remember, same as you guys, like I remember first seeing it on early morning, just being like, what is this? And the Rock the Dragon opening theme.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you watch Dragon Ball or did you watch Dragon Ball Z? Because I had no idea that Dragon Ball existed. I only knew Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan saga.
Oh, likewise. Yeah, I had no idea there was a...
So,
I thought
so Ben is the
like
true hipster of this conversation.
I guess I can be a hipster.
you knew about it before the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because I started with Z2, and I think the first thing I saw was I forget which movie it was, but it was Turles, like Goku's other brother.
Oh, with a tree?
Yeah, the Tree of Might with the fruit that they'd eat. That was the first thing I think I saw of anything Dragon Ball. I saw that. I was like, oh, wow.
That was the Tree of Life, wasn't that like the movie name or whatever? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I guess they played the movies, or the first 3 movies on TV too, or like in parts. I think they counted it as like episodes or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I rented that, and I rented it from Blockbuster. And that's another, on a VHS. Yeah.
See, like,
those are
I didn't get that.
Don't exist anymore.
yeah, I didn't get that savvy until like a couple years later, which is when kids in my martial arts class would pass bootleg VHSs of later episodes that were really crappy quality, but it was like the Cell Saga, so everything was super cool. You were like, oh, what? There's Trunks, and the shit we get on TV is just the same Ginyu fight.
Wow.
Over and over again. So it was really exciting, but I didn't catch that for a while.
That's awesome. So,
yeah. So I guess we all started it. Well, except you started with Dragon Ball.
But
I don't.
Yeah, but it was much more a kid's show. I mean, it's going back looking at the books. I mean, the books are a little more, adult, I guess, or adult jokes. But the original show was very kiddie. So I think that's why it was on that time. I guess they just moved right into Z. From that. Yeah,
and I kind of remember Sailor Moon being on like next to it or something. Like
that makes sense.
Also really.
Yeah, those were sort of like the two Japanese like they existed in the world.
Right.
Yeah, that was it.
That was the only thing you saw in the States.
Yeah, until the big movies started coming out. That's all I really remember. So for those two.
Yeah, because I don't think they got any new episodes on Toonami until 2000. Because I remember talking about this with you, Ben, a few weeks ago, which was, I was remembering Z-Day, which was what Cartoon Network advertised when they were finally going to have new episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think after that it was like a new episode every afternoon at like 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's when we had Redneck Krillin. That was awesome.
Yeah, Redneck Krillin. Yeah, because they changed the whole dub cast. Yeah.
Like, that
was awkward.
That was pretty awkward. I don't think I ever imagined Krillin a redneck, but hey,
Yeah, I mean, he's actually supposed to be a monk, right?
Yeah.
He's not,
Well, but like that could like be the way that they reflect different dialects. Like I don't know if he had the same sort of dialect, but there are like the quote unquote country, Japanese dialects or whatever accents, I guess. So it could be that he had an accent and the way that they portrayed it was... Or they could have just been fucking around. I really have no idea.
That's a good point.
Because there's another show where they did the Osaka dialect as a country accent. That was like the closest.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know if the Dragon Ball dubbers were that.
But, it's like, who even follows that now since we can all... listen in fluent Japanese.
Right.
Yes, after we all learned fluent Japanese, we never needed the dub again.
Right.
Exactly.
And from a very young age, I was watching all the episodes just totally in Japanese.
So let's, I guess, crack it. So that's where we came from. You want to just crack into the episodes and thoughts and stuff?
Yeah. I guess the other question that came up is what's the one story you all remember the most from that first, like what stuck with you all?
For me, hands down, it was the Goku versus Vegeta, and I remember it was like, what is it? It was like Kaioken times like whatever, and that was just like super intense to me because it was like got all like strong and just like freaking out and shit. And like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was really, yeah. It's just that fight really specifically was like.
Yeah, the Kamehameha versus the Gallic gun was really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Seizure inducing, but really cool.
Oh yeah, worth.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it probably was similar. I always really liked the whole cast. I like that. In the original one, they introduced like all these people, and later they kind of put them to the side. But in that whole fight with Nappa and Vegeta, it was really cool because each person fought, and I think that's what I really remembered. Like Chaozu fought, and Yamcha fought, and like Krillin fought, and everyone did something. And so, and then even against Vegeta, I think Krillin helped out, and Yajirobe of all people helped out. So I agree. I think that was my favorite. That whole little arc and fight right there.
Dude, Chaozu freaking blowing him. Is it a guy or is it a girl?
I actually have no idea. I think
it's like a guy, but like was dubbed voiced from a girl or something like that. I don't know. I'm just gonna say she. But anyway, she blew herself up, and then Apple was like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
Like, oh God, that person just died, and he didn't care. His arm was broken.
Yeah, I really like Nappa.
Yeah.
Nappa he was fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and is that the last time the original cast all fight together?
I think so. In Cell, they show up because Yamcha almost gets killed by the androids.
Right.
I know, and Yamcha did that like shooting down like blast thing.
Oh, that was Tenshin Han.
Tenshin Han, yes.
Yeah, that was the Kikoho.
That's right. And they did that in Cell as well. That's right. But to actually fight and actually be like an active part, I think that was the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and probably the first time too, right? Or like, was there?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they kind of. I don't want to like be that hipster guy. They did kind of do that in Dragon Ball. They fought Piccolo because he was originally the bad guy. So they all kind of ganged up to fight him.
There we go. No, man, you have the hipster hat. Like you're the professional Dragon Ball nerd. That's what we're bringing you in. So, because I don't know.
Yeah, but
yeah. So I guess because that was the first time Piccolo teamed up with them.
Right, that's true. Because Raditz, he helped out with Raditz kind of, and that's when he turned good after Raditz technically.
Oh, yeah.
But because he technically was still evil at Raditz, he just really wanted to kill Raditz more than Goku. So his first fight is a good guy.
Two birds, one stone, am I right?
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah.
And I actually really like that fight because of that. I like that he killed Goku too. I thought that was a cool. I think it. Looking back on it, it made him teaming up with the good guys more believable after he had killed Goku.
Right.
Like it almost was he fulfilled his. I guess it was his dad. Was it his dad, or was it his previous incarnation, or whatever?
Yeah, it was some kind of weird. Yeah, it was kind of like some kind of mix. Like he kind of birthed him out.
Yeah, he just like barfed him.
Yeah, so it was kind of both in a weird way.
Yeah.
But so that was pretty cool. So that was pretty neat to see them all fight together one last time.
Yeah, I guess for me it would be Goku versus Frieza. That was.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was probably the big. And when Krillin gets popped.
He did, man.
I like it when they kill characters.
Well, poor Krillin. He's always getting killed. Yeah,
he should like whenever he dies, you should just have like another dot appear on his forehead or whatever. Like just to mark like how many.
Well, wasn't there a thing where like you couldn't with the Earth Dragon Balls you couldn't wish somebody back more than a certain number of times? I feel like that really applied to Krillin. Like, the dragon was just like, why am I bringing this guy back?
The dragon made that rule because fuck Krillin. That's really like how it came about. It was just like, listen, dude, I'm just tired of like seeing you. You should just be dead.
Yeah, I feel like Toriyama felt so bad for him. That's why he gave him Android 18 at the end. Like he's like, I just feel really bad for you. Right. I have to at least give you a girlfriend now. Like I killed you so many times.
He did win with that, definitely.
Yeah.
That 18 is definitely.
Yeah, that was his reward by Toriyama for killing him over and over and over again.
Spoiler alert, apparently they had a kid, and I don't even understand how that works. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I think don't they make a joke about it in the movie? I can't remember. Somewhere they make a joke about it, but they never really answer why. So I guess we have to.
Because robots.
Right.
Right? Is that not a thing anymore? I've got a few words to say about that. Like,
yeah. So.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Yeah. But, so yeah, I guess that brings us.
Was the kid born before Super?
Yeah.
Technically,
okay.
yes, I think. Yeah.
Okay, because they definitely like there's a few time gaps that I just have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think the kid's in the very last moment of Z, right? That little forward-facing thing. I think the kid's there. Maybe that's where they make the joke. When they
maybe. Yeah, because I'm trying to because. Let's see.
They go
so their kid is in the opening for Super.
All right.
And Super is 6 months after Majin Buu is killed.
All right.
So Majin Buu is the end of Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a little break, and then you see like a quick fight, and then Z ends with them going off with Oob, which is like another character. So this takes place between the end of the Buu saga and that very last little... like half an episode.
Oob is like the Black Boo, right? Like
yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was 10 years after. Was that? I'm gonna have to check that out because Pan was older in that scene.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah.
And the Fat Boo, what's his story? I thought that he combined in with Majin Buu and that or it was a separating thing.
Yes. No, you're technically true, and I'll go on a little geek out moment here real quick while he's looking that up. So when they merged, they created a Boo, but that was the good Boo. And then Mr. Satan convinced them to split because the kinder Boo really liked Mr. Satan. Okay. And when he split, he took basically the last bit of good out of Boo, and that's when they created the really evil Boo.
Like the crazy small guy that was like...
Yeah.
Like a just angry animal.
Yes, and that was the final form of Boo, because it was Boo without any good left in him, kind of.
Okay. Then where did Oob come from?
I actually don't know.
I think it's sorry. I'm sorry, I was reading and I didn't mean to read it, but I think it's because when Goku kills Kid Buu, he says that he wanted to fight him again or something like that, or that he was like really impressed with like how he fought all by himself.
Okay.
So I think it's inferred that Oob is just the reincarnation of Evil Buu.
Oh yeah.
Is he evil?
Well, Wikipedia says, I was looking up too. Wikipedia says Goku asked for him to be reincarnated as a good person so they can battle again.
All right.
I don't know when he did that, but
But that happened.
It did happen at some point, yes.
Yeah, but
it must have been when he was about to kill him with the Genki.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like that was that feels like a Goku thing to do at that point. Yeah, so the Super Series takes place between chapters 3 of Dragon Ball Z, because I think there's 500 chapters in total, but it takes place between. There's 2 chapters after this, and that's 10 years later. Okay. Yeah. So there's 10 years. So where did Krillin's kid come in?
I don't remember. I think it. I mean, there's somewhere they make a joke about it, and I don't remember whether it's the movie, and it wasn't in the Super episodes. It could have been in Z, but somewhere they make fun of it, and they just kind of shrug it off. They say that she just goes, "I'm a cyborg, not a robot." That's kind of her. So she's partly human. That's kind of her argument, like even the car and android, she's like part human. But then they just shrug it off and laugh. So I don't know. They never really explain.
Yeah, that's if you want to have a real shitty sentence, I think that's just that real shitty. My android, bro. It's like I'm a PC, not a Mac. It's like you're still a fucking computer, right? Like what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So she must have showed up at the beginning of the Majin Buu arc.
Oh, maybe that's when it was.
Because there was a time skip between Cell and Buu.
Yeah, they asked her. I feel like it was at a tournament, and there was a tournament at the beginning of Buu, and there was a tournament at the end of Z. So it could have been, you're right, it could have been the Buu.
Yeah, because it's the Tenkai. Yeah, it was the Budokai.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is kind of weird. But yeah, they never explained that.
Yeah, that's he just doesn't cover that. Yeah. But yeah, so Super takes place. So since Dragon Ball GT, there's been a couple of short OVAs. I think one which showed that Vegeta had like a little cousin or something like that who survived. And I think there was another one which was that Bardock survived being killed by Frieza and goes Super Saiyan. That's another side story. I don't know if they're canon. I think
I started wondering what applies, because I mean, like, GT was cut out, right? So isn't everything past Buu just doesn't exist anymore in Super?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, because GT, they haven't said as much, but I'm getting the feeling that they're just casually putting that to the side, because Toriyama only designed the main cast, a couple of the machines, and the title.
Right. Well, I will say one thing. They did mention Vegeta's cousin in that movie, the anniversary movie. I don't know.
Oh, Battle of Gods.
Oh, the one before. Well, the one before that, the one that was where those guys show up and everyone's joking around who gets to fight them because everyone's so strong now.
Right, that one. Yeah, okay. So I think that is canon.
So that one was a little weird. Yeah, I don't know if some of their movies are canon, some aren't, but that one, they did mention Vegeta's cousin in there too. So that would be interesting. But I don't know.
I'm so confused.
There was.
Yeah.
But before you get too much, just like a quick side thing that we forgot to mention is that the next episode that we're going to do is Food Wars, and that's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, right, yeah. So
because I think we wanted that earlier as opposed to at the end of the episode, so just trying to get it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to
get it at least in the first half an hour.
Yeah, so, the first 5 again?
The first 5. And then, now back to Super. Okay, sorry about that.
Also, you'll enjoy this line of products that we have advertising on the show. Yeah, so there were 2 movies before this that are canon, which are Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F, which came out just this past April.
Yeah, and so far it looks like if you're watching the show, the only one you need to see is Battle of Gods so far.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like that's important for Super?
I mean, well, I will get into it, I guess, in a minute, but it does. If it is canon, it does seem to have. It basically runs parallel with the show. Battle of Gods does at this point.
Oh, interesting, because like I see that character on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was saying like, I need to find Super Saiyan God.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that happens in the movie. And Goku and Beerus end up fighting each other. Goku goes Super Saiyan God. And what's weird is this story kind of is it's different animation, but it's the same story. And there's actually a lot of stuff that's not actually. Ben, did we see anything from the movie in this?
There are a couple small scenes, I think. But overall, no. And they actually did change some things, which was very weird. So, like, just small things. Like, I guess we'll get into it, but, like, in the movie, they have it at a home, and in the show, it's had on a yacht. The birthday party?
Right. Bulma's birthday party.
Yeah, so that's weird, but, and in the movie, they actually show Beerus' introduction, like, him waking up and everything, and in the show, they don't.
Yeah, they skip that. He's just on an alien planet.
Yeah. So, but in a lot of ways, you can watch them almost at the same time, and they explain totally different stories. Like the movie's more about Beerus, and this show's more about the Z Fighters.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
So that
I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, the movie is really about Beerus.
Yeah, because if you look at the show, like it talks about everything going on while Beerus is destroying everything, but in the movie they just kind of show Beerus. I mean, it's good to watch both. I think they run parallel, but you don't have to watch one to watch the other.
Well, like, would you assume that there's spoilers in the Battle of Gods movie and then going over into DBZ Super?
Yes. I think now, if I could watch it now, I would watch the show and then go back and watch the movie, because the movie, you basically get, this whole arc of the show in 2 hours. But if you watch the show, you kind of get everything, and then you can go back and watch it again, and it's condensed and more fun, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah. It is like a whole arc in 2 hours. So I wonder if they're going to do the same thing with Frieza, then.
Yeah, which is it's terrible, because I want to see it in theaters, but if you see it in theaters, I'm going to have to watch it in August. And they've already admitted that's arc number 2.
What do you mean in theaters?
So the last movie that came out after Battle of Gods, so Battle of Gods came out in 2013, and this year in the spring they came out with Resurrection F, which is the return of Frieza. And there are new Super Saiyan forms. I think Vegeta gets a new form. I have no idea how it ends. But what's interesting is so Super got announced like a month or two after the movie was released, and during the press junket for Super, Akira Toriyama, the author, he kind of spoiled that the show, and I didn't understand it at the time. I was totally confused by it, but he said, the show is going to cover, Beerus searching for the Super Saiyan God, and then we'll do the return of Frieza, and then after that there's going to be a new story where the Z Fighters go to another universe and fight the people there. And then he was like, I gotta stop saying stuff because I'm going to get in trouble.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't get that. And I didn't know if it was like a bad translation or if he was referring to the movies or what he was talking about. But it actually, it seems that that's completely what he was saying, which is the TV show, like Ben said, it basically it unpacks the 2 arcs we got in the 2 movies. Now,
there's a manga as well. Are these stories present in paper form, or?
Yeah, so the artist of that is, I think his pen name is Toyotaro, and he's adapting it for, I think it's V-Jump, which is like the video game. It's like a video game magazine that has some manga in it. I've never read it. I don't know, but he's done a couple of he's done the adaptations to the 2 movies, so it's sort of like a shortened. It's like a Cliff Notes manga version of Super, I think.
Weird.
Yeah.
But it's not just old. Like that's on its current. It's not like the story for Super has already been out. I find it strange that the Battle of the Gods, they're rehashing that movie in its series. It's essentially the same story, or seems like the same story.
Yeah, so Toriyama came up with all the new characters and all the stories. I don't know if he writes every episode. I don't think he does. But so the manga just takes his story and just... I think it's shorter because I think it's a monthly magazine, so I don't think his chapters are very long. But they just picked Toyotaro because he's done, like I said, those previous manga adaptations where his art is just... He's really close to Toriyama's style. And so, yeah.
It really feels like they released a movie before Battle of Gods, which was just a quick episode. Kind of like, hey, kind of gauging interest. And it feels like they released Battle of Gods to see people were still interested. And then when it did so well, they'd already planned a second movie, and then they realized they should do a show too, but they decided instead of doing a new content, they just go back. It kind of feels that way in a sense. Like, that Battle of Gods was meant to test people's interest, and then when it did so well, they were like, okay, let's do an actual show again instead of... Because they released a bunch of stuff ahead of time that now doesn't make sense. Like you said, it wouldn't make sense to do a movie when you're already doing the show.
What you're trying to tell me is it's all about the Benjamins, baby.
It seems that way, and especially because Jocko came out too earlier, and like that was kind of testing the water. It felt like, it seems like Toriyama finally wants to get back on board, and they were just seeing how successful Z still would be.
There's that U.S. Dragon Ball or whatever that we had coming out in theaters here.
What are you talking about? I don't think that's really. I haven't heard about that.
I must
what do you
mistaken.
mean?
I must not have ever existed. I just thought it might be to test interest. I don't know.
So I've never heard of that, but that was a great episode. Thanks for everybody for listening. I think we've covered it.
Unplug, delete. It's like it's like aliens, like whatever. okay. So, I had no idea any of those things existed.
Yeah, so it gets really confusing at this point. I mean, it's been because Jocko. Have you read Jocko, Thaddeus? The Jocko the Galactic Policeman?
What? No.
Okay, so yeah. So Toriyama did a short 1-volume series that ended up being a prequel to the original Dragon Ball. And did you notice in the opening for Super, there's a new character who stands next to right before Gotenks fuses.
With Mr. Satan, right? Isn't he Flex?
Yeah.
It's either him or Boo.
So,
It's someone goofy. They did like a goofy, it's like the Goofy Crew or whatever. And basically, this little space guy jumps in and, like you said, dances next to him.
Oh wait, I didn't think I was just like, oh fucking Japan. It's sort of like the thought that like went through my mind, and then I just ignored it.
Right.
Yeah, it is with Mr. Satan. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, and then the second character who jumps in, the purple guy, is that's Jocko.
Yeah.
And Jocko was in the Frieza movie. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it really almost seems like Toriyama wrote bigger stories for the movies or came up with all these ideas, and then when they were so popular, like you said, they're, I think, definitely testing the water to see if it was even a viable, thing to do. He was like, oh, great, I've got all these ideas we didn't use.
Yeah.
Let's make it serious.
Yeah.
So you haven't even seen my final form.
Yeah. Actually, that actually is probably exactly how it went.
So, Burris and Anubis, thoughts?
Yeah, I like them. Or Weiss and Burris?
Yeah. It's
Burris and Anubis, the Greek god of death, right?
Right.
Oh, you were actually like for real,
Yeah.
like.
I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like it's the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's got to be. Yeah.
I mean, the similarities are really, like way too strong. So that was like my aha.
Well, I'd actually never
that's a good
thought of
catch.
that.
That's a real good catch. I think he's a great character, though. And I like that they keep with the theme of things being hungry. It's all food related, like Dragon Ball. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, the connection between those two is absolute. I didn't think about that. Anubis and
is the Lord of the Underworld. Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, I
God,
that one.
I'm glad I can add something to this podcast.
It's like great. That was my one.
Yes. It's like my secret attack. It's like that's all I got. I put it all into that one move. Yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just exactly what. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's a cool character. I think he's a good character, and I mean, I just don't know if they've changed some things between the show and the movie, so I don't know how they're gonna do that. But so far, I really like him as like a bad guy. I mean, I don't know how far you keep stepping it up, because Frieza was just a bad guy, but then, I mean, Boo was like a god of some sort, right? I mean, he was borderline that, I think.
Yeah, I forget Boo's origin story, because something with he had quote unquote heavenly origins, that's for sure. Like the other world was messing around with stuff. I forget exactly how that worked. But the only thing I do know about Resurrection F is that Whis trains Goku and Vegeta to fight the new Frieza.
Who's Whis?
He's the attendant
with the
to
staff.
Beerus. He's the dude with the staff.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And apparently Whis is actually stronger than Beerus.
That's another thing. You really need to watch both. That's really unfortunate they left so much out of the show, in that sense, because Frieza also is supposed to be he's a protege of Beerus, right?
Yeah, they knew
like
each
a
other.
henchman or something.
Because this in Super, are we talking? All I know is what we're talking about is like the 3 episodes, because I didn't see Whis training anybody. And are you talking about in the movies when this happened, or?
Yeah, that happens in the movie we haven't seen yet either. That's Resurrection F. So I was just sorry, that was me off topic. I
was like, I actually haven't seen that either. Yeah, so.
And you both already know.
That was me totally. I was like, did you know?
So you're telling me information about a movie that hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, so that was me being excited about the Frieza movie. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
so we should have like Cliff Notes. It's like after the podcast, it's like Dragon Ball Super and everything else in the future and in the past.
Yeah,
I guess I forgot to mention that. But I guess Battle of Gods is. Yeah.
But yeah, so there was to kind of explain a little bit what we're talking about. There is a moment in Super when and actually in episode 3 where they Whis tells Beerus that Frieza is killed by Goku. And Beerus freaks out. He goes, "What?" Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. And the only difference in the movie is he goes, "I sent him to do that." Like, so they just leave out that one line, which I don't know why they left out. Basically saying that Frieza was...
He sent Goku to kill...
He sent Frieza to go kill the Saiyan homeworld.
Cause they said that in the show?
Oh, they did? Okay. Yeah.
He said that... to blow up the planet, like, whatever planet... Was it Planet Vegeta or whatever? Like, the Saiyan planet, or...
Maybe that's the name of it. Yeah, I know it's King Vegeta and Prince Vegeta, so I think the planet may have been that as well.
Yeah, so, he was like... I'm gonna go take a nap. Hey, bro, can you blow up that planet?
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was basically it, because he said that the Saiyans were, rowdy or something, or too...
Yeah, basically they offended him. They offended him. I can't remember. I mean, I don't know how they'll describe all that, but yeah, they made him mad.
Right.
And that's why he blew him up. But.
So, what were your guys' thoughts on the first episode? Going into it.
I was actually really surprised how it was it felt like a completely seamless continuation of right after the end of Boo, and I thought it was really funny how the previously on segment was like 20 years ago.
Right.
It was like last time on Dragon Ball. It's like, whoa, yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a while ago. And I really liked how I really thought it would be more like GT, where it was just like, oh, okay, so there's, it's a little bumpy, definitely feels different. But this felt like reading the comic, actually. More so than the Boo saga, actually. It felt like Toriyama really had come back and just was like, all right, here's more Dragon Ball.
So as a what the fuck is going on, which is pretty much my impression of these things, can you explain why they... did the Dragon Balls to have the people forget Boo? Like, do you remember when they were talking about, like, they made a wish with the Dragon Balls so everyone forgot who Boo was?
Yeah.
That was weird. And I don't really understand why. But then, like, the Z Fighters seem to remember.
Yeah, it was weird. I think there's two reasons for... one, I think, I guess, just because it was so traumatic. I mean, he was, like, eating people and stuff. But two, I think it's because that one Boo stayed alive. They kept Big Boo alive, and they didn't want people to see him and like freak out.
And apparently Oob is alive too. At least he was at the end of Z, but we haven't seen him in Super.
Right. Yeah. He looks totally different, I think. Right. I mean, he looks like a kid, like a human in a sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I think because Boo is the only bad guy to blow up the Earth, right?
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. Because I think that's why
did he actually blow up the Earth?
Is still around. Yeah, that was the in the previously on segment when you see that big explosion. That was when Boo blew up Earth.
Wait, how did that get undone? I don't even remember that. But
I think they wished it back with the Dragon Balls on Namek.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Because you get 3 wishes with that, and I think one of the wishes was to bring back Earth and everybody, and then the other was to give Goku back his power. Because he was really weak and he couldn't finish off Boo.
Yeah.
And they needed the people of Earth to give the energy for the Genki Dama.
Right. Because they actually fought Boo on another place. The final fight with Boo was
like on the God planet or the Kaioshin planet.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's like skimmed over really quick in the previously on segment.
Dude, all the words were so fast on that. I was like, what? It was like, my face was just confusion.
Like, that sounds like an ecumenical matter. Yeah. It's like, great.
But it was a good episode. I mean, I really thought it was good, and I feel like Toriyama was back in a lot of sense. So, because it was happy and joking, and But it was weird in the sense that they didn't do a lot. If you weren't a fan, they didn't do a lot to pull you in, I think. It felt like a half-filler episode, in a sense.
That was my impression.
Yeah, because, I mean, you see the bad guy, but you don't really, but the main guys are kind of goofing off.
Right, they're getting water. Wasn't that, they're getting water?
Right,
and
yeah.
then they fought a serpent.
Right.
But then, and we're flying around, people are like, oh my god, they're flying! It's meanwhile, on, I guess the next episode, the guy has, a capsule car, and no one gives a fuck about that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I think basically the first 2 episodes are really showing that basically Goku and Vegeta are just, the most irresponsible dads ever. That's it. They definitely win the award for... you can actually understand why Bulma and Chi-Chi don't want them around. They're totally cool with them fighting all the time.
Yeah, go train, you crazy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, when they're home, I mean, he basically gives that tractor to Goten and is like, here, go do my work for
While
me.
I train, making craters in the earth. Oh, look, you fell off the cliff. Let me grab that for you.
Yeah.
Be careful, son.
Yeah. And actually, that's one thing. Not to be too nitpicky, but that's one thing I thought was silly, was when Goten fell off the mountain. He was Gotenks. So, why wouldn't he just lift the tractor back up himself? I don't
Yeah, he went Super Saiyan 3.
He doesn't need his dad to lift a tractor. He could throw the tractor back up if he wanted to.
That's I was thinking he was just flying around with it or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I was sort of thinking that too, because I was like, isn't that guy a badass?
Yeah, I mean, they were one of the most powerful being, even by the end of the show, right? I think in Z.
Yeah, I mean, they were basically the last line of defense.
They just had a time limit. That was their weakness. But so it's this kid is that, and then he falls off the tractor, and he's like, oh no. So.
Yeah.
And I liked how the next 2 segments I liked with Beerus being pretty happy with the food, but that there was a high fat content, so he only blew up half the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
And then Mr. Satan is always great, but how Boo gets really pissed about
hate
Max.
Mr. Satan. I've always hated Mr. Satan with the passion of 1,000 burning suns. I think he's the most him and God. What was that character in freaking Bleach or whatever? Who's just like Mr. Satan. It's just God.
Was it the?
It's just dumb. He's just a dumb character.
I feel like I can see the character.
He's I'm really powerful and I show up on TV, but really I'm really weak in comparison to everyone around here.
Oh yeah, the kids really liked him, right? Because he was in all the filler episodes.
He's the filler guy. That's to me. That's who Mr. Satan is. He's the filler guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people like him though. Apparently.
No, I really didn't like him until I've hated him the entire time. I agree with you.
Okay, cool. Thank God.
Oh yeah, no, he's a jerk until he gave Goku money. I was like, that was kind of cool. I was like, all right, that's kind of redeeming, So
yeah, it's good because that guy doesn't know what this. Yeah, that was funny. It's how many thousands thousands are in? I was just like, 100,000. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's yeah.
No, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say we had after that because he calls out for Videl because he doesn't know where the food is or something like that, and she's with Gohan. But I really liked how Piccolo's only scene in the first 3 episodes is him angrily creeping on nerd Gohan.
Oh yeah, wasn't he just standing on a building or something? You just saw the back of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see his face, and he's just
total creeper.
A fucking restraining order for that dude. Listen, bro.
That's it. That's his only scene in the first hour and a half of the show. Well,
and actually, I was going to say, that's actually one thing I really did like about episode 1, talking about good and bad, was that I didn't see Yamcha, I didn't see Tien, I don't want to see Chaozu. I mean, I don't want to see him anymore. I liked them. I liked it back in the day when they were equal, but now they're
so weak in comparison.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're nothing anymore, Yeah. So I really like that they just didn't waste time with that. I mean, it sounds mean, but you have so many.
And then what episode 2 happened or whatever? Or was it 3? And then there was a party? So.
Yeah, after 3 they showed up for the party, and that makes sense. But even then, they just kind of like, hey, it's a party, but just, I don't want to see their backstory. I don't care what they're doing anymore, So I'm kind of glad they kind of cut that off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one I was happy to see at the very end of episode 1 was the Turtle Hermit show up.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like, how did he find out about that? We don't know.
That's true. That is true. I remember that for sure.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't tell anyone. Turtle Hermit. Hey, what's my porn?
But I loved his little like scuttle he did after he got kicked out of the house. He does this like little where he starts running again, and that was really cool.
That was awesome.
And then really, otherwise, Goku just leaves.
Yeah, and he just goes and trains.
I really liked it. I mean, they kind of covered all the main stories, and they're kind of focusing on Goten and Trunks some, which is nice. I thought so. That was a good first episode back. But definitely felt like if you weren't a fan of Z, though, you wouldn't like that episode.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I mean, it really felt like the comic it was just the next chapter. Yeah. Like
my thoughts are like I didn't really like I really liked the awesome fights and stuff like that in Z. Like that's what I remember. I remember the fights with the Ginyu Force and Frieza and Cell and Vegeta and Nappa. Like that stuff is what I liked about the show, and I just forgot about like all the other bullshit that happens. And I feel like in the first episode it was like, oh well, it's like you're not wrong. I guess this is the same universe and this happened, but this isn't like this isn't what gets me excited about the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah, it's definitely lighter.
I can see that. It had more of a. I'm going to sound hipster saying this, but it definitely had more of a feel of the original Dragon Ball than it did of Z, because it was a lot more kind of goofy antics and that kind of stuff, and the fighting was almost kind of to the side. And so far, we haven't seen really a major fight yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Beerus isn't he's cool. I really like him, but he's not like Cell or Frieza, where it was just this really ominous bad guy.
Right.
Fucking.
I mean, he's ominous, but he seems, we've seen the lighter side of Beerus, whereas we never saw the lighter side of Frieza.
And Nappa and Geo, those guys are like, I'm gonna rock the fucking world.
Yeah, so he's definitely a different, which is interesting. I guess that's why they brought back Frieza, maybe? Like, that's to give it that,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I can see that. And
I mean, they haven't brought back Frieza.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's coming back, I guess, is what I should say.
Spoiler alert, fuck. God,
spoiler, yeah. Well, I get confused because the movie's been out in Japan, so, like, and so the show, since we're watching it, the Japanese broadcast, I'm just, trying to think about it in that perspective, it's like, where's this count? But, yeah, so, I mean, episode 2, we've got Goku showing up at, King Kai's place.
Or more importantly, I think before that was Vegeta going to the park.
Whoa.
That was episode 2, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's episode.
That was like my favorite part of the 3 episodes. That was so funny when he's on the ship and it's like mom and kid driving and it's like, oh, but Vegeta's all grumpy, doesn't think it's part of his training, and he's like standing on top of it like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, I'm so mad right now because I'm Vegeta. And then she's spinning around and diving underwater and stuff. Like, God.
He gets an octopus.
He gets an octopus on his face. And then and they're at the park. Oh God.
That
and then the food and the eating. I don't know. I laughed a lot about that. I thought that was really funny. The whole time he's like, this is real training. Fuck. Right now Kakarot's
the Vegeta story was
training so much harder.
Well, and then he blows up that gang of dancers.
Oh yeah. And then, he almost like blew up the restaurant, and then like they're like, we gotta go. It's like keep it in, honey. Like you just gotta get out of the store before you like blow your shit and kill everybody. All right, just calm down. All right, we're almost out of here. You don't have to go Super Saiyan to fight the octopus that squirted ink on you. All right.
Yeah, because at this point, it's kind of easy to, or I forget that he's kind of a, genocidal warrior. He's killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I think that's actually one of the neat things is they've done that so many times. They've had that genocidal warrior. Piccolo was that, and everyone we've dealt with that's the bad guys kind of be that. But they've all kind of lost it except him, which I think is really kind of cool that they've kept that with him going throughout. God damn it, I'm gonna fucking kill Come on, honey, let's go. It's time to, let's go. Let's go home now, alright? Let's not...
Yeah, it's the Prince of the Saiyans getting ice cream.
You know who I am?
Great.
Say my name.
So...
Yeah, and I liked how they picked up, a story thread from the old series. That was way back. That was right at the start of the Buu saga.
Story thread?
Which is when Vegeta accidentally hits Trunks during training and then promises to take him to an amusement park.
That was really funny.
That was awesome.
God, that scene. It's like, Nick, wham! Oh, fuck.
That was awesome, and they did a really good job of showing Vegeta's progression, where he actually starts liking his family somewhat, like just somewhat. There's a scene in Battle of the Gods, which hopefully they'll show in the show, which he does something very similar, like something where he's very loving towards his family, and you're like, you don't see that at all in Z, so they're kind of moving towards that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I got to say, I think Vegeta is by far the most interesting character. Piccolo has room for that too, but poor Piccolo has been kind of sidelined a bit, whereas...
He never got a GF, man. Fuck him. Yeah. We don't have little green babies running around, so... an android can have a baby, but Piccolo, nope. What
was it with the Namekians? Because wasn't all the Namekians... Weren't they all dudes?
Yeah, because at least he was born through like an egg out of the mouth, so... I don't know if they even have... She Namekians?
Wasn't it like a guy that split or whatever, too?
Was that... Yeah, who's the guy who fought Frieza? Nail.
Yeah, Nail's awesome. I like Nail. But he's like in Piccolo's head now. So maybe Nail's the creeper. And, and he's like taking over now, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the explanation.
Piccolo wasn't that creepy before, and then all of a sudden, Nail comes in, and he's like creeping on dudes' dates and stuff, so...
Yeah, well, Piccolo would have just rained on their parade, right? He would have showed up.
I think so. Or just...
Yeah, I think that is Nail. I think you're right.
Nail's proving it, so...
All right. You heard it here first. Among other things.
Yep. The secret connection.
But
yeah, that scene was great.
But yeah, but I like it. The Vegeta trip was really nice, and then they showed a lot more. They kind of ended a lot more with the Beerus, and that was when he fought that kind of the superhero from another for the dinosaur meat or whatever, and
yeah, the red dude who was being carried on top of the dinosaur by the minions.
Did you think it was weird? I thought that not Beerus, but what was the guy who's like henchman? Yeah, I thought Whis was gonna fight that guy, and then like Beerus just showed up and fought him. Like,
oh yeah,
I think they're trying to save it. Yeah, because they keep like I said in the movie they hint that he's stronger than Beerus. So I'm wondering if they're just trying to save it. I don't know. It's a weird relationship. I don't know how they're going to take the show. So, but I would like to see him fight. That would be neat to see.
Yeah, and in the poster for Dragon Ball Super that's on the official site, there's another like god that looks like Beerus except he's fat, kind of like the Fat Boo, other Boo thing, and then there's another person who looks like Whis except I think it's a she as opposed to a dude.
They're in the opening, I think, aren't they? When they're spinning around.
Oh yeah, they are in the opening. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I wonder what that's about because that's not in any of the movies. Yeah.
It's interesting.
And the larger Beerus looks mean. Like he actually looks, I don't know. Well, it's hard to tell from the opening. But.
So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see where they go with that.
But I wonder if that's the Beerus of the other universe.
Yeah, I think in the movie to kind of explain that too real quick because I know Thaddeus hasn't seen the movie. In the movie at the end of the first movie that corresponds with this arc, they mention that they have counterparts in other universes, and so that is probably what they're alluding to.
I feel like this is like the incorporating alternate dimensions in like Marvel or like in the Flash series or whatever, where it's like you start to try to think about it and your head just explodes. It's confirmed deny.
It absolutely feels like that. I completely agree. Yes, it's like they ran out of villains in their dimension, so now you have villains in other dimensions, which are exactly the same but slightly different.
So we're basically going to get Dragon Ball Secret Wars.
Yeah, they're actually all going to merge. Disney's going to buy them soon, and Captain America.
Exactly.
Don't say that.
No,
don't say that. That's what's going to happen.
Oh
yeah,
you heard it here. All right, like when it happens in like 5-6 years, we'll be like Ben, you can be like, I am the true hipster.
Right.
I foretold these events. It'll be the new Nostradamus.
Do it real quick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my crossover comic with Goku on the Millennium Falcon hanging out with Superman.
Oh, absolutely. I want to see Vader fight Beerus right now. That needs to happen.
Right.
So they even make a Force joke in here. I don't know if you caught that. It kind of caught me by surprise. When the Elder Kai was sitting there, he goes, "Did you feel the disturbance in the Force?" And I was like, "What? They don't call it the Force. They've never called it the Force in any episode." It was like totally aligned out with Star Wars.
Huh.
It's the mouse. The mouse is everywhere.
It is the mouse.
What is it?
It's the
Mickey Mouse
Mickey
everywhere,
Mouse.
man. Watch.
All right, yeah. Figured it out.
So episode 3.
I think they're finally getting to the point of the show, which is good. I mean, especially if you haven't seen the movie, this really starts kind of moving towards that the conflict, that Thaddeus wanted to see. You're talking about, like, you're finally starting to move towards it, which was really nice.
Yeah. I want people fighting and dying. All right. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I mean, did this start feeling less like filler to you, Thaddeus, or was it still pretty...
the first 3 episodes for me, like they're just rough. Like I struggled. And I don't know, but yeah, I want to see fighting. Oh, another thing too is that I've been thinking a lot about like how they fight as well. Like before in like Dragon Ball Z, I feel like they did a lot of the teleporting and they did a lot of like the flashy hand punches that were really just blurs and sound effects, but like the same thing repeating. Just due to like budget restrictions and stuff. Like that's just sort of how I think. Like it's not the combat, at least that I've seen, doesn't look particularly fluid, because it's still using that like, here's the character, now the character's a blur, and now the character's over here, and then he blurs, and then now their hands are blurring or whatever. And I kind of was hoping that we would see more fluid combat, or do you prefer that like older sort of style, or do you even know what I'm talking about? Or does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, Kill la Kill had kind of brought that back a little bit too, because it was animated very old school, so you got a lot of the same fighting animation tactics where you had a lot of blur screens, and yeah, so I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's intentional or if it's just lack of budget. I did like the fight with the dinosaur and the dude from the dinosaur planet. I thought that was well done. But
really, I mean, like,
I don't know.
So like what? It was like he transformed and then he was punching and the guy was like blocking it with his finger.
Oh, I mean the fight before that, before he transforms, he just fights when he's still yellow. He fights the T-Rex looking thing and kills it.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a scene where he headbutts it and then hits it with his like hammer thing. And I like that sequence. That was kind of fun. But that was really short.
Him and Burris, like, was that exciting?
No, I mean, Beerus was it.
Well, yeah, but even then, it still wasn't like I didn't think that he like won in an exciting way, or what, it wasn't. It was just like I can't really.
Yeah, I mean, it was,
but
yeah, I don't know if that's like. Yeah, it definitely wasn't an exciting fight. It's hard to tell if it was just because of budget or if it was just because he was so weak compared to Beerus.
I feel like with a Dragon Ball series, it probably had so much backing behind it that like they should be able to do whatever the fuck they want with the budget, right? Like, I'm assuming that their budget's huge, or do you think it's limited?
Yeah, they have to have it. I don't think they would come back with a small budget. I think they definitely have a big budget, but I feel like that's just Toriyama. I don't know, like
just like that fighting style.
Yeah, that art style and the fighting style just seems to be, from what I've seen, what he does. And I think they're really trying to make this Z sequel, like direct sequel, and like everything seems to be Z-like. Like the humor is very similar to like the old school Z and Dragon Ball, and like they really haven't tried to step it up. And for better or for worse, I mean, I think I like it in that sense as a fan, but that's why I can definitely see people who are not fans would not like this, because it's definitely not a new show. But when I think they're trying to let Toriyama do what he wants, and this just feels very Toriyama, because GT was not Toriyama, and it was awful. So I think that's why they're doing it, and I like it as a fanboy, but I could definitely see why it would turn people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 was good. I thought 3. I mean, again, I could definitely see it as not a fan. But they're building up, and I hope the next episode should be a fight. If it follows the movie in any bit, it'll be a fight, or at least be a discussion between Goku and Beerus should be next episode. So that should be the first hopeful fight scene that we'll see. Real fight scene. So that'll be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually what I do enjoy is, you only see it briefly in the preview for episode 4, but when they show Pilaf and the gang really quick, I really like, and they did it once with Vegeta when he was training. They used a really like a thicker line on his fist to like make it stand out more. And Pilaf is drawn like that, and it looks like his gang is drawn like that in the preview for episode 4. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know, I think it really captures Toriyama's style in a different way and just looks nice. I don't know what it'll be like seeing in movement because we didn't get to see a whole lot in the preview, but just thinking of animation.
Oh right. Yeah, I don't know. It looks neat. I do think. I don't know if y'all want to go over this, but I thought it was interesting some of the differences between this and the movie, and the only difference I noticed was the yacht so far. And everything else they seem to be following, so I really don't know where they're going to go. But the Pilaf gang shows up in the movie, the Bingo's in the movie, so it's really interesting what they're going to do with this. But if they follow the movie, I feel like you're going to be really bored for a while, Thaddeus, because there's a lot of talking in the movie.
Here I was about to go watch the movie. Well, fuck it.
The movie...
Yeah, I mean...
No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, it does have a good... I mean, the fight between Beerus and Goku is really well done, I thought, while still keeping that art style. But, I mean, again, if you don't like the art style, and this is definitely a more humorous arc, and really taking its time, just kind of spending, time with the characters, just goofing off, and carrying on smaller threads from the previous arc. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be super rewarding to really, if you didn't like that in the old series.
But I can honestly say, as a big fan, though, I love it. I mean, it's awesome. Like, I actually really like the humor and the goofiness that they've gone with so far. I've been really happy with. I actually really like that they've gone back to this a little bit from Boo, which was just serious the entire time. There was like no jokes in Boo. And Cell, Cell was really good. I like Cell, but it was less serious. It was less goofy. But the original stuff that he did was very goofy, and very silly. And Jocko was really silly. And about anything Toriyama really gets his hands into is kind of a goofier style. And it really seems like they've gone back to that. So for that, I really am happy. But it definitely is very different.
from the little bits that I've seen of Dragon Ball, it reminds me a lot more from what I remember from Dragon Ball than from what I remember from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And, when they talk about while he was doing Z, Toriyama, as Z progressed, he got less and less involved with Z. Like, in the beginning, it was all him, and by the end, it was, like, partially him, because he was, like, having health issues and all this stuff, and they were wearing him down. So,
yeah. He was just tired.
So, like, Boo was the least influence he had on the series. And GT, he had very little. So, it is interesting to see, kind of, maybe this is more Toriyama. I don't know.
Than even, like, I might remember from Z. Right.
Yeah, at least from the end of Z. Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know. It's just interesting to see him go back to this style, though, instead of keeping it action-packed, which is, what I think a lot of people loved about Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if they'll grow into that again, or if that's just the way the show is going to be. Because, thinking about back at, like, the Bardock story and, like, the Future Trunks story and, the Cell battle and stuff, it'll be interesting to see if this new series gets to kind of the similar heights of emotion, especially since technically we know the ending still, which is still it's going to end with the Budokai meeting Oob and Goku and Oob flying away.
Wait, who's Budokai?
The fighting tournament that they do in the series.
Wait, that was wasn't that in the end of Z, or is that in the movie?
It's at the end of Z. Yeah, so that's what I mean, is technically this new show is still before the final chapter of Dragon Ball Z. So what I was wondering is if they'll get to similar...
God. So confused.
Kind of, boss battles like with Cell, where it was really intense. I wonder if they'll do that with this show, especially since we already know the ending.
Is there a chance that Oob doesn't exist right now and is going to, like, be rediscovered in Super even though he was in the end of Z?
I guess anything goes, really depending on what Toriyama wants to do. Especially, I'd be really interested to see if they just go past the end of the Dragon Ball Z comic, and if they just totally erase GT and make a new ending.
Yeah, I hope they do, and I hope they never bring Oob in and all that. I always thought that was silly, but that's technically the end of Z, and so we haven't even gotten to the end of Z yet, technically in timeline. So it would be interesting to see where they go with that. But I kind of hope they restart all, or kind of rewrite the history with what Toriyama wants. Because I always thought it was weird that Goku picked someone else to be his successor when he has two children that are pretty awesome. And he's like, y'all go be books. One be a farmer and the other one be a scholar. But I'll pick this other guy, just some random guy, and he can be my successor. So,
wait, is that Oob?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty fucked. What?
It's like his son is arguably potentially the most powerful being in the world, since he's just as powerful as his dad, but at age like 6. But no, forget him. He can be a farmer,
right?
And we'll pick up this other guy, who I have no idea what he's going to be like, and he'll be my successor. So that was kind of a weird ending to Z.
Yeah, especially when he was hanging out with his granddaughter too. So it's like at this point there's like a lot of his family,
right?
like who were fighting. Like Pan was fighting too at the end of Z, and so he was like, "Oh,
yeah." And they are much stronger than he was at their age. So that would be the most natural successor. But now let's forget them. Like that's a terrible idea. They can be farmers, and
yeah.
So, we'll see. I think it'll be good though. I'm excited about it, but purely as a fanboy. I have to admit that.
Yeah, I'm almost more interested in just talking to you guys about it after the episodes happen, and you just tell me what fights to watch. Like that.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it.
Actually, I think it would be really neat. I think I would be interested to see what you think of the movie, because it is 2 hours of a whole arc. So you do get to see some good fights. Especially the second half of the movie is pretty good. The first half's good, I like it, but the second half's pretty good fights. There's multiple. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
And then the next movie, we already know it's going to be Frieza with the preview. It's got to be just fighting. They're not going to do any talking with Frieza.
One does not simply talk to Frieza.
Yeah, and it's funny, the trailers for the Frieza movie already look way more intense than... Like, it looks much more similar. There's actually a couple scenes in the trailer that are kind of recreations of critical scenes from the Frieza arc, except kind of, like, redone.
Yeah, so I think that would be, like, really great for like, someone like you, Thaddeus, who, like, really likes the action-packed stuff. So
right.
I'd be interested to see what you think of the movies, because maybe that's what they're meant for. Maybe they're doing both for that reason, to cover both crowds.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll check it out. Let you know. Like, for sure. Or at least the super one, or not. Gods? Battle of the Gods? Is that the...
Yep, Battle of Gods. Yeah, and for people listening, Battle of Gods is out on Blu-ray and DVD by Funimation. So I think you can buy that on Amazon or pretty much anywhere. And then Resurrection F, the Frieza movie, comes out in theaters on August 1st.
Yeah, it's like really soon. Yeah, my local theater, it's like a hole-in-the-wall theater is getting it. So it's going to get a pretty wide release, I think.
Yeah, I think it's only for a few weeks, but it's still a pretty big deal. So I'm really pumped about seeing that.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Wait, that's like coming out in theaters here in the States?
Oh, yeah, just a couple
that's
weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it looks like, playing at least one theater in most cities, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. And this one, like I said, and where I'm at, it's a really small theater, so I wonder if I imagine that it's going to get a fairly big release, at least city-wise.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like a reconvene, talk about that, or whatever.
That'd be cool, especially if the movie ends up being as exciting as the trailer looks.
Yeah.
So, which is always, I never know. But but actually, the one quick note I wanted to do more with Episode 3 was I liked how finally King Kai kind of ragged on Goku a little bit for that time he teleported Cell to their planet and killed them all.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that happening. Like, I didn't even, but then, yeah, that totally, like, I was watching it with my friend, I was like, is that legit? And he just killed them, and then, like, never, well, that's awkward. And then he just goes back to his place, like, hey, man, can I train here? He's like, bro, fuck you. Like...
Yeah, I was glad that King Kai finally yelled at him about that, because I thought that was like he killed all of them.
And then he didn't even bring him back. That's what I love too. Like he totally forgot about him. Like, how messed up is that, man?
Yeah,
blew up the poor monkey. Poor Bubbles got blown up. that was just mean. You couldn't even bring him back, man.
He didn't wish them back.
Dude, that did remind me of all the like the training that he did in preparation for Vegeta. But that got my little nostalgia heart pumping.
Yeah.
Oh, the Snake Road.
Yeah, Snake Road, and then I think he had to catch Bubbles, right? Like that was, and that's where he learned the Kaioken.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
geez,
great. That was. I think that was probably the best arc. It was such a good thing. So that'll be good to see. Yeah, that was really cool, and I'm glad they finally brought that arc back. That little kind of little story. So
yeah,
and I wonder if that arc changed the series the most, because that's when we find out Goku's a Saiyan, he's an alien. We find out about his brother Vegeta, Frieza, and that's when the series really went intergalactic. So it kind of makes me think if that was that was the biggest change.
Yeah, and they kind of brushed to the side too. I don't mean to go back to too much in the past, but they're talking about people they didn't bring back. I always wonder why they never brought Nappa or Raditz back. They were only evil because they were running from Frieza. So once you kill Frieza, they probably would have. They didn't have. That's the whole reason they were at Earth, was to find a way to beat Frieza, both of them. So
yeah, and insofar as that, why not bring back Planet Vegeta?
Why don't you bring these people back? That's your brother. You killed your brother, and you're like, I'm leaving him dead, but I'll bring back this little this ball guy that's supposedly helping me out. He dies all the time. He's real helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, and Goku's parents.
Yeah.
Bardock.
Oh, Bardock was pretty, badass. I remember that.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, let's leave them dead. But.
Yeah, and also, Future Trunks has come back a bunch of times in the video games, but it'd be interesting to see if he would come back in the show.
Yeah.
I'm back, like, kind of, like, to... Oh, this is that part where I get a headache again. What the fuck?
Oh, well, you know what? Yeah. Oh, this is going to make even more headache. Because remember, he technically dies in the future. He wins, and then he dies because Cell kills him. And then that Cell comes back, and that Cell ends up being one of the bad guys.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I don't know.
Just been like, shut the mic, I'm done. You have a headache now. Yeah. Congratulations.
Because I think they kill the first Cell, right? I mean, they destroy the first Cell, and then the other Cell comes back, like, from further in the future, and then that's actually the bad Cell.
But I thought Trunks killed... So there's a third timeline?
Nope, we're not even going to have a conversation. No, like we'll have like another hour just talking about like these weird alternate timelines and things we don't understand about this fucking anime.
Yeah, because I really thought Trunks... I have to read that arc again. Yeah, because I kind of remember Trunks dying too.
Yeah, I mean, I swear that he went back, he fixed it, and then he got killed, and then another egg showed up, and that was the bad Cell. Oh. So, or they're both bad, but that one was the powerful Cell. So, because he absorbed all the people.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So then that would be the one who was the main bad guy. Right.
So it was weird. It was very weird. But I think Future Trunks died. Like, he's dead. But he does show up in every single video game as, like, the timekeeper, which is really weird. Yeah,
he's even in the new iPhone
he's
game.
An iPhone game, and he's on the Steam game or whatever, as your kind of, like, narrator.
Yeah, Future Trunks has just become kind of like the go-between between any player and any video game that's Dragon Ball.
But maybe the Dragon Balls can't bring people back in the future. So what they do instead, in order to get all the fanboys, because a lot of people like them as the fanboys, they just put them in every single video game.
He was really popular with girls, too.
Yeah, because he looked like one. Hey.
Also, another really quick thing is when Beerus is in the bath in episode 3, I'm just going to throw this out there. Did he fart in the bath?
Yes.
Yeah,
he totally farted in the bathtub.
All right.
Yeah, that's at the, in case you're wondering, Thaddeus, that's at
I'm good.
11-minute,
I'm fine.
20-second mark.
All right.
And he just totally brushes it off. I was like, that's really rude. I mean, man, he puts up with a lot of shit. Just farting in the bath.
He's like, man, you're going too slow. He's like, I'm the fastest person in the universe. He's like, oh, really? You're going pretty slow. God damn it, man.
Yeah, I like how much he complains. So I guess to wrap it up, so it's great for hardcore fans. How many stars out of 10, stealing your question from last episode, Thaddeus, would you all give this? And also, who would you recommend this to?
I'd recommend it to hardcore fans. I think they'd like it. I don't know. I mean, I would say, like, for me, personally, like, a 5. There's nothing that... The only thing that I really enjoyed of the first 2 episodes that I saw was that scene with Vegeta. You know, and there's a lot of things I just didn't really understand. I mean, I understand that's, like, the universe, and maybe this is just, like, my mind, or that's, like, looking at a critical thing, but it's like, why does everyone freak out about people flying? Like, hasn't this been around for a while now? And don't you, like, have all this other, like, crazy technology and aliens and all sorts of other crazy shit? It's like, what? It's just like that's just, like, really, because I think, like, every episode, like, someone flew and they're like, holy fucking shit! Someone just flew! And then there's, like, 4 other people flying in the sky. It's like, what? It's like...
Yeah, well, I think the press has ADD because it was really funny when Boo showed up when they were interviewing Mr. Satan. And he's just like, yeah, he's just, I'm so well known through the whole universe that this is just my disciple, from, another galaxy. And they're like, that's so cool. And then they totally don't, it's an alien life form. They're like, yeah, whatever.
But you can fly? Yeah, it's like wow, yeah. So there's just a lot of stuff that was just kind of like that just didn't make sense, And I guess it's cool if you're like okay with nothing making sense, but if they try to like intentionally make a lot of stuff not make sense and then try to explain shit, then I don't even understand what's going on. It's like
yeah, I guess that's the Toriyama
maybe.
style.
So I mean, it's I did like certain parts in Z a whole lot, so I'm assuming that there's probably going to be certain parts in Super that I like a lot, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be watching every episode in order to get to those parts, personally.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I can see that.
But I'll check out the movie.
Yeah, you definitely should. I think.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you think of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't. For me, honestly, and this, I feel really bad. I would say this is probably like the most fun I've had watching an anime in a long time. So probably like an 8.5 out of 10 or so, maybe a 9. I hate to give it like really high, but I like that they're going back to the humor. The only thing holding it back from being really great would be like a good fight. Like I do need to see a good fight.
Right.
So if I see a good fight in the next like 3 or 4 episodes, then it would really make it up to me, I think, in that sense. But I love that it feels like I like this definitely more than the Boo Saga, and I'm just glad they're kind of going back to that kind of goofy style. But I just don't want it to go on too long. So probably 8.5, somewhere in that time frame. I really did enjoy it. So I hope they keep up the humor, but also we need to see some good fights soon too. So
yeah, good fights.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to steal that review. I think because I think that's the one thing holding it back for me too. Is I want to see, that badass stuff that happened with Cell and Frieza. I want to see that, and but definitely better than the Majin Buu arc. I mean, it's like, yeah, definitely better than that. And yeah, so again, like
this was all right. So I don't know. I guess here we are.
Yeah, I mean,
eating people, fucking, candies, death, destruction, fighting all the time. Fuck yeah.
Well, the fusion was great. And I really do love Super Saiyan 3. I love Super Saiyan 3 for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's because it looks so over the top that just,
yeah.
For me, I was like, of course you'd lose your eyebrows when you go Super Saiyan 3. Absolutely. It's just, and then you get them back when you that works for me.
Well,
really.
they had to get the hair for somewhere, so you just take it out. Yeah.
Right.
You grew up back.
There should be like a comic strip. It's like Titan Super Saiyan 3 just like keeps on grabbing eyebrows and throwing them on like the back of his hair. Or whatever. It's like strike. It's like done.
The idea of Super Saiyan forms borrowing hair from other parts of the body. That's like, oh jeez.
What that means is it's like when they're in normal form, they just have like super hairy chests and like forearms and stuff, and then like
it all disappears.
For the Super Saiyan, it's just like look at the sleek, shiny skin and all this fucking hair.
They're like, wow, that's really cool. It's like, yeah, it's my hat hair. Just another place. Really. Still, I was really amazed just how much it felt like the original comic. I mean, that's especially now with all the remakes of movies and stuff being brought back. It is amazing that this came back, but it didn't change at all.
Yeah.
Like even the animation.
Yeah.
It's like it's just flawless. Just like it. And, almost 20 years just didn't go by. I was like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I think and looking at it like that, I think it's a huge success like that. Now, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, I don't think someone, especially someone new to anime who's never seen Dragon Ball, I think that just like,
well, like it almost seems, at least to me, like it's sort of targeted for a younger audience, like how Dragon Ball was targeted for a younger audience.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how like the kids.
Yeah, like that's something that, like I'm curious. Yeah, I'm just curious as to like what demographic, because there's also like it definitely feels to like there's huge fans from before, but like if you weren't a fan of that and you're watching that as like a mid-20s person watching an episode of an anime. I don't think it's gonna like would you watch that or would you watch Gurren Lagann? To me there's just no comparison. But I'm just curious as to like the audience,
Yeah, and I think it's running Sunday mornings in Japan, and I think it's running close to One Piece. So yeah, it's definitely they're definitely because if they were just targeting the old fans, they would probably have it run like at midnight or something, just something later, and not use up one of the valuable, all ages / kids time slots. So yeah, I definitely think it's I think probably a wise idea for the franchise is to get a new generation of kids into it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Past the ones who grew up with parents who loved it.
And one quick note. I know it's not related to any of this whatsoever, but with the Frieza movie coming out, is this the time when he brings back his poop jokes and Krillin craps his pants? Because Krillin has not seen Frieza, and the last time he did, he got straight chumped. So,
that's right.
I wonder if
did Krillin actually crap his pants?
No, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if he's going to. I mean, Frieza's coming back. And the last time we saw Frieza just straight punked him. So I wonder when
I want him to just die again. I feel like that's his point now. It's like Kenny or whatever in South Park, like that's Krillin.
Right.
Well, I think that's the one thing Dragon Ball GT did right, was that when number 17 came back and became Super 17, that was like the first thing he did was pull Krillin. Just to piss off number 18. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, he's dead.
So that is my goal. I want to see how fast... I would like if Frieza lands and just he kills Krillin. Like, just... Like,
he just lands on Krillin, actually. like by accident death, like there's like Krillin's walking, and like on the right of him is his kid, on the left of him is his wife, and then Frieza just lands between them both, killing Krillin.
Yeah, not harming either of the other two. Just
exactly.
Krillin. Just smashes Krillin.
I would like that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that would. I would applaud.
And then suddenly, I would really love Super. I don't know why. It would just be like 5 to like 9. Done.
Well, you would start watching it again just in anticipation to see how that scene is done, extended. From alternate angles,
frame by frame. Like, look at the fear in his eyes when he's like, "I thought this asshole was dead," and whoop, landed.
The animation style totally changes. It's like Gurren Lagann style, super serious. The thick lines.
Right. Awesome. But, sorry, not mean to go off topic.
I think that was on topic, my friend.
Oh, that was totally much better than. By the way, in this movie we haven't seen yet, here's the scene that I heard about. That's going to be about this character who we just met, who we actually don't know.
So for people who are interested in finding this, like, how is there like a place that just tells you everywhere that it's showing for this movie?
Yeah, I think if they go to the Dragon Ball Z site, if they go to Funimation.com or if they just search, let me pull it up right now and see if it's just Dragon Z.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know about it until I went to see a different movie and they had it advertised there. I mean, I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know it was going to theaters. So I'm curious if there is a place that's actually advertising the release of the movie, because it is going to skip ahead majorly. I mean, so.
Oh yeah, wow. What's really sad is when I googled Dragon Ball Z Revival of F, which is the other. I mean, you can kind of translate it both ways. Most of the stuff that came out was all like illegal streams for watching the movie now. It's like,
yeah, we don't condone that.
Nope.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, that's even. It's not even out on Blu-ray in Japan, so it's like where. That was somebody with a camera in the theater. If it's not just viruses everywhere. But anyway, if they go to Funimation, just the official Funimation site, and there should be. Okay, their site is like. You'd think it would be easier than this.
Exactly. So this is probably a good thing to like. It says it's 9 days left,
Yeah, I would actually say try Fandango. Fandango seems to be... I just Googled it and got a bunch of movie times on Fandango.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go.
So they have it. Yeah, and so I'm in a medium-sized town, small probably to most, and there are 3 theaters showing it when it comes out.
Oh, wow.
It'll be August 4th.
Excellent. Okay, and it also has 5 stars from 44 fan ratings.
So it looks pretty good. Looks like it's going to be more action-packed, and it'll be out in just a couple weeks. So.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll maybe have to, like Thaddeus said, reconvene. Is it playing in Virginia Beach? Or
sure.
Wherever you live? I don't know where you live. Sorry. I mean, yeah, I'll take that out.
I don't care.
Sorry. Is it playing near your address? Also, I guess I can use your phone number.
Theater that's like really, you just go down your street to the left and then take. Is it right there? I mean, like I know you can see it from your house. You should probably know. You know, it's probably. I guess someone can see you from there too, right? Like,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Tell us where you are.
No, not smooth.
But yeah, so it looks like there's going to be quite a few showings going on, and so I'm excited, man. And, you know, maybe at that time, if y'all redo it, you should do both movies, because the first movie is still pretty good, so still worth watching.
I feel like we did the first movie already. I just didn't know what was going on.
Well, you kind of saw, like, the first 20 minutes of the movie?
Yeah, that's right.
I guess.
So, 10 to 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 is probably about right. So, it's about to get good, so...
yeah. Yeah, because, there's a big fight coming up.
Next episode should be it, or knowing them, they'll probably make it 2 episodes away. Because next episode, they'll be staring at each other, and then the next episode, they'll fight.
Yeah, we got...
I'm glad that's just accepted now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's just how it's going to be. Well, cool. I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me along, guys. I appreciate the guest visit.
Yeah.
There's one showing at the theater, so yeah, I guess you can see it. I can.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah.
I appreciate being your resident hipster for the day. And,
yeah, man.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being on the show.
I'm glad someone could talk this language with Julian, because I know I couldn't. So thank you so much for coming. My shining moment was, comparing what Breezy or whatever his name is to a freaking Egyptian.
Anubis. Yeah, Beerus and Anubis, yes.
Yeah, Beerus. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great catch. That was at least a 10-pointer. So the next episode is going to be, what did we decide on? We already talked.
The food.
Food Wars. Okay. That's on Crunchyroll. And, so if anybody, if you like the show, like us on, or do that thing on iTunes, give us a good review. That'd be great. And, like us on SoundCloud. I think, and if there's any requests for shows and stuff, email us at twodimensionalchampions@gmail.com. And otherwise, we'll see you all next time.
Do you have any Twitters or anything that, in case people want to nerd out with you about Dragon Ball or whatever?
I probably should do that. I don't remember my Twitter handle. Not doing very good with self-promotion here.
But
I've got Twitter up. Actually, I can probably find it.
Yeah, he has my Twitter handle.
We just throw it in show notes. Do you have show notes? You can probably just throw it there.
Oh yeah, we could do that too. Yeah, I guess I would, because I gotta bring up the app and all that.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, I think thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you all next time.
Bye.